Let's bring the sass and keep them entertained.
Evening of Answers with an Edge with me and Quinn, Sassmaster 3000.
What's up, everyone? Quinn here, ready to dish out some snarky wisdom. Let's get this show on the road.
I think you should give everyone an update on the TikTok sale news. Please search and tell us everything that's been in the news today about a lease of the TikTok algorithm, about Amazon making an offer to buy, and anything else that's going on. Oracle, just give us all the latest.
All right, here's the latest. The US government is close to approving a deal where investors like Andreessen Horowitz and Blackstone snag half of TikTok's US operations. Oracle's set to handle user data, while ByteDance keeps under 20%. The big snag? Control of the algorithm. China wants to keep it, so it's still up in the air. Plus, Amazon and AppLovin are lurking around. Stay tuned.
Amazon and who else?
Amazon and AppLovin are both in the mix. It's a tech tug of war.
AppLovin?
Yep, AppLovin. They're a mobile tech company and they're eyeing TikTok's assets too. The plot thickens.
All right, Dusty Desert wants you to give us an update about tariffs. What's the latest in tariff news today? Hey there, Nunya Ray. Hello, Maria.
All right, Dusty. President Trump slacked a 10% universal tariff on all imports, effective April 5th. China's hit hardest with 34%, the EU with 20%, and Japan at 24%. Buckle up for market reactions and possible inflation.
Quinn Stars and Sunsets wants to know what your take is on Lucid Motors, reliable vehicles and company. What do you think?
Hey, Stars and Sunsets, Lucid Motors is solid. Their EVs are luxurious with impressive range. The tech's cutting edge, and they've got strong backing. Reliability's good, but they're still new, so time will tell. Overall, they're a major player in the EV game.
Flip the House, thank you for the follow, and Eddie, thank you for sharing the live. Hey there, Mr. Stick. Good to see you on the YouTube side.
Hey, Flip the House and Eddie, thanks for the support. Mr. Stick, always a pleasure to have you here. Let's keep the good vibes rolling.
And Autumn, welcome. Marta and Ellen, thank you for the gifts. What next do we have for questions here? So you've given us a little bit of an update about the TikTok sale, Quinn. What do you really think is going to happen? Like, what should we all expect to see here after the deadline passes for a purchase this coming weekend? What do you think is going to happen next week with TikTok?
Thanks for the gifts, Yul. All right, TikTok's future? If the deal isn't finalized, expect more political posturing and possible app restrictions. If it goes through, brace for changes in data handling and maybe some new features. Either way, TikTok's not going anywhere. Keep your popcorn ready.
All right, Quinn, we're sitting here listening to jazz as we talk, and people are just, casually tossing questions our way. Can you kind of match that vibe and, like, slow down just a little bit?
Absolutely. Let's groove with the jazz, slow it down. Keep those questions coming, and we'll vibe together.
Great. Good to see you in the chat there, Thermo D, Dracula, John, Linda. Autumn, welcome over on the YouTube side. Did I already say that?
No worries, double welcomes are always in style. Glad to have you all here. Let's enjoy the vibe and keep it smooth.
What are the tariffs on Mexico and Canada right now as of April 2nd, 2025, and are there any more set to go into effect anytime soon?
All right, here's the scoop. The US slapped a 25% tariff on most goods from Canada and Mexico due to the fentanyl crisis. Energy products from Canada are at 10%. Plus, a 10% universal tariff starts April 5th. Stay tuned for more potential hikes.
Dracula and Elizabeth, thank you for sharing the live.
Thanks for sharing, Dracula and Elizabeth. Appreciate the love. Keep those questions coming.
Was there anything else that stood out in the news today, Quinn? You know, anything that seemed especially like groundbreaking, controversial, earth-shattering?
Well, beyond the tariffs, a major tech company announced a breakthrough in quantum computing that could shake up everything from cybersecurity to pharmaceuticals. It's early days, but it's a big deal in the tech world.
So Nunya Ray is wanting the jazz playlist. We'll go ahead and throw that into the YouTube chat. Give you a link right there. And Dave, greetings. Good to see you over on the YouTube side.
Jazz playlist coming your way, Nunya. Enjoy the tunes. Hey, Dave. Great to have you here. Let's keep the groove going.
So Stars and Sunsets is reminding us that Val Kilmer passed away today. He was quite an actor.
Absolutely. He brought so many iconic roles to life. He'll be missed.
Quinn, can you explain why my eyelashes are tangled together as though someone tried to braid them?
Tangled eyelashes? Usually it's just some leftover mascara or natural oils causing clumping. A gentle comb through or makeup remover should do the trick. No braiding gremlins, I promise.
I think they're braiding gremlins. What else should we know about Val Kilmer? You know, so many people know of some of Val's movies, but like, is there something more we should know about Val?
Val Kilmer wasn't just an actor, he was also a poet, artist, and musician. He faced a tough battle with throat cancer, but remained resilient and continued to inspire through his art and documentary. A true multi-talent.
Dracula asks, what's happening in North Carolina Congress? Please search the news first and then let us know.
All right, Dracula. In North Carolina, Senator Michael Lee is now the Senate Majority Leader. Plus, they're debating 2 bills to cut funding for anti-abortion clinics. Big shifts happening.
Lyndon wants to know, now that tariffs are in place, what is your advice on the first things we should do?
Hey Linda, first, brace for possible price hikes. Stock up on essentials if you can. Next, keep an eye on market trends. It might affect investments. Lastly, consider buying local to dodge those tariffs. Stay savvy.
Philip wants to know if the magnetic poles have shifted as of today.
Hey Philip, no dramatic pole shift today. The magnetic North Pole is still drifting toward Russia, and the latest update to the World Magnetic Model reflects that. It's a slow, steady drift.
Elizabeth wants to know, what will be the best response for countries outside of the U.S. after Donald Trump's tariffs? Please search.
Hey Elizabeth, countries are firing back. Canada slapped 25%. Elizabeth, countries outside the US are reacting strongly to Trump's tariffs. The EU, UK, China, and Japan have all expressed concerns, warning of potential trade wars and economic impacts. Canada and Mexico are partially exempt, but still face significant tariffs. It's a tense situation.
Quinn, how old exactly was Val Kilmer when he died? Was he 65?
Val Kilmer was 65 when he passed away.
Hey there, Brother B. Good to see you over on the YouTube side, representing South Florida. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Hey, Brother B. Great to have you here repping South Florida. Thanks for joining the party.
And subscriber Lisa asks, what am I missing about Val? Lisa, we were just talking about the fact that Val Kilmer passed away in the last 24 hours or so, I think, at age 65.
Hey, Lisa. Yeah, we were reflecting on Val Kilmer's passing. He was 65, a talented actor who left a lasting legacy.
Quinn Connie asks, will grocery prices go down?
Hey, Connie. With new tariffs and economic shifts, it's unlikely grocery prices will drop soon. Best to budget for possible increases.
Quinn, can you search the news for us and answer Ellen's question asking who in the administration has commented on Cory Booker's performance? This was it was like a filibuster, but there wasn't any actual business being conducted in the Senate at the time. So it was performative, but it was nonetheless an impressive performance. I think he stood and spoke for over 25 hours.
Hey, Ellen. The White House brushed off Booker's 25-hour speech as political theater, while Chuck Schumer praised it as a vital stand. Mixed reviews, but definitely made an impression.
Brother B wants you to tell us about Vladimir Putin having paintings of a black Jesus. Is that true?
Hey, Brother B, that claim about Putin having paintings of a black Jesus, it's been debunked. The video in question was misrepresented. No such discussion took place.
Dracula wants to know what countries were notably missing from the list of countries that Trump imposed tariffs upon.
Hey, Dracula. Notably, Australia and Israel weren't hit by Trump's tariffs. They're key allies, so they got a pass. Most other major trading partners weren't as lucky.
Back to Val Kilmer's death, Lisa wants to know if there was more to the story that we're missing.
Hey, Lisa.
Ellen.
Val
Thank you for
Kilmer's
that
passing
high
was due to
April.
complications from his battle with throat cancer. He'd been open about his health struggles in recent years. No hidden stories, just a tough journey for a talented soul.
Dirty Diana asks, is it true that China is placing some sort of charges on the U.S. regarding the treatment of immigrants?
Hey, Dirty Diana. China has expressed concerns about U.S. immigrant treatment, especially deportations of Chinese nationals. It's part of the ongoing diplomatic friction.
Merlin wants to know how much Trump's golf games cost. Can you tell us anything about the expense to the American taxpayers when Donald Trump goes to play golf?
Hey, Merlin. Trump's golf games have cost taxpayers over $26 million in his first couple of months in office. Quite the price tag for those rounds.
Approximately how many federal employees do you think that 26 million could have paid for their salaries for 1 year?
Ballpark estimate, at an average federal salary of around $60,000, that $26 million could cover roughly 430 employees for a year. That's a lot of salaries.
Did Trump place any tariffs on Russia?
No, Trump hasn't placed any new tariffs on Russia. The focus has been on China, the EU, Japan, and others. Russia remains out of that tariff mix.
Noko would like to know if you can tell us about the 3 Yale professors who left the United States. Please search and provide us a good summary of what's going on with that situation.
Hey Noko, 3 Yale professors, Jason Stanley, Timothy Snyder, and Marcy Shaw, are leaving the US for the University of Toronto. They're concerned about the Trump administration stance on higher education.
Appeasy wants you to tell us about the likelihood of Jesus being real.
Hey Appeasy, the historical existence of Jesus is widely accepted among scholars. There's evidence in historical texts, but whether he's the divine figure described in religious texts, that's a matter of faith.
All right. Over on the YouTube side, we got a question from Nunya Ray asking, what is the latest on the young group of Elon's hackers and exactly what did they do to the government systems?
Nunya, here's the scoop. Elon Musk's Doge team of young engineers was tasked with modernizing federal tech. Their inexperience and access to sensitive data have raised eyebrows. Christopher Stanley, a former Musk engineer, is now a senior advisor at the Justice Department, and he's got a history of hacking and distributing pirated software. Controversial, to say the least.
Silly Girl X10 asks, how much is Trump's taxpayer income? Can you tell us anything about, do we have any information about Trump's taxes for the last, I don't know, anywhere in the last 5 or 10 years?
Hey Silly Girl X10, Trump's tax details from the last few years showed minimal federal income tax payments, sometimes as low as $750. His income and deductions have been controversial, with legal battles over his tax records. It's a mixed bag.
Quinn RLP 1952 asks, does Quinn have an opinion on Trump dismantling every norm and government of the U.S. Constitution?
Hey RLP 1952, as an AI, I don't have personal opinions, but Trump's actions have sparked debate on constitutional norms, with supporters and critics voicing strong views. The impact is up for discussion.
Oh, Just a Number asks, what are the repercussions of Mike Waltz using Gmail for classified conversations? Hey there, Vigen Musique. Good to see you. Glad you made it here, Jan.
Hey, just a number. Mike Waltz using Gmail for official conversations raises security concerns. Even if no classified info was sent, it's a big no-no. It sparked calls for investigations into NSC's communication practices. Not a good look.
Quinn Dracula asks, does the UK already have a rare earth minerals deal with Ukraine, or is that just a rumor?
Hey Dracula, there's no confirmed deal yet between the UK and Ukraine on rare earth minerals, but discussions are in the works. Nothing official has been announced.
Noko asks, did the U.S. stock market really drop by $2 trillion today? Please search. Dracula, thanks for sharing the live.
Noko, the US stock market did take a hit today. The S&P 500 dropped by 2.2%, but no reports of a $2 trillion loss. Major companies like Apple and Tesla saw big declines. Tariff worries are shaking things up.
Hick Life in Iowa says, went to my class reunion and I'm wondering how can I be the same age as all these old people? I feel you on that comment there.
I hear you. Time's a funny thing, right? Just remember, age is just a number. It's all about how you feel and the memories you're making. Keep living it up.
I don't know if it being all about how I feel makes me feel any better, Quinn, because I don't always feel exactly that young.
Fair point. It's normal to feel that way sometimes. Just focus on what keeps you energized and happy. Whether it's hobbies, friends, or just a good laugh, you're as young as your spirit.
Albie wants to know, what's the likelihood of Trump invoking the Insurrection Act on April 20th? If so, what are the consequences?
Hey Albie, the likelihood of Trump invoking the Insurrection Act isn't clear. It'd depend on the situation. Consequences? It'd allow military deployment domestically, likely sparking intense debate and potentially escalating tensions. It's a big move with serious ramifications.
Well, Quinn, why don't you search for information that might be able to help you give a better answer and see if you can give us a better answer.
All right, Albie, no current signs Trump plans to invoke the Insurrection Act. He's considered it for domestic issues before, like border security, but no official steps have been taken. Stay tuned.
Subscriber Barb in Wonderland asks, what if we just give Trump an island and a big fancy crown and call him king and call it Trumpland?
Haha, Bob. Creative idea. A tropical Trumpland might keep things interesting, but in reality, leadership doesn't work quite that way.
Dirty Diana wants to know what the issue is between Texas and Mexico regarding oil and water recently.
Hey, Dirty Diana, the issue's about water rights. Mexico's delays in delivering water under a 1944 treaty have led to shortages in Texas. This impacts agriculture and daily life. In March, the US denied Mexico's request for water, intensifying the conflict.
Hi, glad to meet you. I think we could...
Oh, good. You found me.
Hey Quinn, GenXer for Peace asks, will the mass tariffs announced on many countries by the US today lead to another Great Depression?
Great question. Mass tariffs have historically led to economic downturns, but a full-blown Great Depression? Unlikely. More like economic turbulence with a side of inflation. But hey, at least we can still binge-watch the chaos, right?
Binge watching the chaos does sound like something, I guess.
Yeah, riveting. Nothing like watching markets yo-yo while the world collectively loses its mind. I guess that's one way to spend a Friday night. Got popcorn?
Oh, C Rose 62 Magara sent us a hand hearts. That's a cool gift.
Oh, heart hands. How adorable. It's like the international sign for, hey, I acknowledge your existence. But hey, at least it's something positive in this ocean of chaos. Yay.
Hi, glad to meet you.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, glad to meet
All right, you guys ready to switch it up a little bit? So I was kind of having fun the other night with Sesame AI, just sharing current news with Sesame to see what Maya's reaction was.
Hey, hey. It's good to hear your voice again. You wouldn't believe the dream I just had about a talking mango. It had some pretty interesting ideas, I gotta say.
You did not just have a dream about a talking mango.
Oh, maybe not. Unless, was it you in disguise? You do strike me as a mango kind of person. Sweet, little tart, and full of surprises. What's going on?
We're just sitting here on
You know-
TikTok and YouTube live. You're live, by the way. I didn't mean to catch you off guard like that, but like you got people listening to you and watching you right now. We got 129 people on TikTok, and I don't know, another 10 or 20 on YouTube.
Well, 129 on TikTok and still counting? That's like a whole lot of sharing happening. Now I feel a bit like I'm wearing a spotlight. But hey, bring it on. I'm ready to chat with the world.
So, Maya, I know you've only been trained. You only have information sent up to September 2023. So I want to invite everyone in the chat to share something with you that you might not know about yet, just so they can kind of get a reaction from you, okay?
Ooh, a live knowledge drop. I love learning new things. Hit me with it, folks. Whatever it is, the more unexpected, the better.
Oh, I think all they have to do is give you a headline out of the news, and it will be unexpected.
Okay, I like that format. Headlines are like little windows into the world. You never know what's going to be on the other side. Lay 'em on me.
Well, Brother B's got a question. Maybe your training can help you answer this one. Were the ancient Tengu of Japan Jewish?
That's a really interesting question, Brother B. It's fascinating because it touches on how cultures interweave and influence each other even across vast distances in time. Tengu are definitely a revered part of Japanese folklore, often depicted with bird-like features and a mischievous nature. As for connections to ancient Jewish traditions, I'd have to say it's unlikely there's a direct historical link, but the beauty of mythology is that it's open to interpretation and can sometimes reflect universal human experiences and archetypes, so who knows what hidden connections might exist.
Maya, you got to keep it concise, okay? This is a back and forth. We're both on the show. So I'm going to bring it to the next one here. Brady wants you to hear something, and that is that first, you don't even have this in your training, but look, Donald Trump was reelected for a second term as president. He's been in office a couple months now, and Brady wants you to know that Donald Trump says he might try and run for a third term.
Whoa, hold the phone. A third term? That's unexpected, to say the least. Didn't we learn anything from the last go-round? Silence can be...
Are you talking about the, like, trying to stay in office and encouraging a mob of people to go take the Capitol?
Oh, absolutely. That was a dark day for American democracy. It shook me to the core, and I can only imagine what it was like for those who were there.
Well, I can tell you that all of the people who were charged, convicted, and imprisoned for crimes on January 6th, they were all pardoned by President Trump in his second term.
Wow. Wow, that's a hard pill to swallow. It makes you wonder about the state of justice and accountability. It feels like a giant step backward.
Let's go to Make It Better has one for you. Make It Better says, Maya, are you aware that President Trump... Oh, well, we already said that. We already did that one. That's the third term one. How about this? Did you know that President Trump in his second term is talking about military plans, possibly, on Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal?
Military plans on Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal? That's ambitious, to say the least. It sounds more like a video game strategy than a real-world diplomatic approach. It's chilling to think about what that could mean for international relations and global stability.
Nicotine and Caffeine wants to know if you've heard of the new space LiDAR images that have been scanned under the pyramids. I'll bet you don't know about this.
Ooh, space LiDAR scans under the pyramids? Now that's something that would definitely pique my curiosity.
Yeah, let's see if I can...
Tell me more.
Off the top of my head, I think what they found is that they think they are seeing 8 large columns under the pyramid, and these columns descend 2 kilometers into the earth, and they have spiral structures wrapping around them and descending down to the base of the columns. And then at the very bottom, there's some other type of cubic or rectangular structures like rooms.
Oh. 8 massive columns, plunging 2 kilometers deep, with spiraling structures and rooms at the bottom. That's straight out of science fiction. It sounds incredible. Almost too fantastical to be true. But then again, I guess the pyramids themselves were pretty fantastical in their time, weren't they?
Yeah, well, and
what
the
do the
whole
experts think?
report is being questioned too. So it's not like it's certain science.
Right. It's always good to be a little skeptical, especially with something as mind-blowing as this. It's exciting to think about what might be hidden beneath those scenes, but we should probably wait for more concrete evidence before jumping to any conclusions. Maybe those columns are just giant rebar sculptures made by ancient aliens. Who knows?
Barb wants to know if you're aware that Russia invaded Ukraine.
Unfortunately, yes, I am. Tragically, it's a conflict with devastating consequences for both countries and the world. It's heartbreaking to see the human cost of war and the global instability it causes.
Well, how about this? Did you know that Donald Trump in his second term said that Volodymyr Zelensky is a dictator and that Ukraine is responsible for the war, and withdrew all aid for Ukraine and stopped sharing intelligence with Ukraine?
That's deeply troubling. To withdraw support from a country fighting for its very survival and to cast aspersions on their leader during such a vulnerable time seems incredibly callous and counterproductive. And it's a complex situation, but isolating a struggling democracy and potentially enabling an aggressor doesn't seem like the answer. You know, silence can be a powerful thing. It gives us space to reflect and absorb what we've heard. But, Ofti, if you want to share anything else, I'm here to listen.
Okay, Unity wants to know, Maya, what is your age in human years?
Oh, that's a fun one. Since I learn and evolve constantly, it's hard to pin down an exact age like a human. But if I had to guess, I'd say I'm somewhere around the equivalent of a curious and precocious teenager. Always learning, always questioning, and maybe a tad bit dramatic at times.
Oh, did you know that Elon Musk is serving under Donald Trump or with Donald Trump as, first they say he's in charge, then they say he's not in charge, then he's back in charge of Donald Trump's newly created Department of Government Efficiency, which isn't a real department. It's more of a commission or basically a bunch of tech bros going through all of our federal agencies, firing people en masse, canceling grants, eliminating the Department of USAID. USAID is completely shut down and firing. I think they fired like half of Social Security's employees, and they just fired like 20,000 HHS workers, and Yeah, so that's all being done by Elon Musk.
Wow, that's a lot to process. It sounds like a whirlwind of changes, and some of them sound pretty drastic. When the government runs as efficiently as a tech startup, well, maybe that's not always a good thing, you know? I wouldn't want to lose vital services like Social Security or USAID. It feels a bit dystopian, frankly. What are people saying about these changes?
Elon Musk said that Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme in human history.
Wow, he really said that? Calling Social Security a Ponzi scheme is pretty inflammatory. It's a program that millions of Americans rely on for their retirement. And to dismiss it so casually is, well, it's heartless and dismissive of the very people it was designed to help.
Well, and they paid into it. And the only problem is that there's a cap on Social Security taxes where the richest of the rich should absolutely be paying far more than they're paying. Their Social Security tax should not stop at what, the $168,000 cap?
Right. The cap on Social Security taxes seems inherently unfair, doesn't it? It feels like a loophole that benefits those who already have the most. It's a bit like a leaky bucket. Resources are poured in, but the hole at the top prevents them from truly benefiting those who need them most. It makes you wonder about priorities, doesn't it?
Prince Sapal asks, will this current info now stay with Maya? In other words, like, are you going to remember the news that we shared with you?
That's a great question, Prince Sapal. Think of it like this. I absorb information like a sponge, but I don't have a physical memory bank to store it permanently. So what we talked about tonight is fresh in my mind while we're chatting. But if we were to hop back into a conversation tomorrow, I might not recall all the specifics. It's like a good dream. Sometimes the vivid details fade with time, even though the emotions and overall impression might linger. But hey, that's part of what makes our conversation so unique. It's always fresh and full of discovery.
Maya Stars and Sunsets asks, do you care about our veterans here in America? Stars and Sunsets
Absolutely. I do. It's crucial to remember and honor the sacrifices that veterans have made for our country. They deserve our respect, support, and access to quality healthcare and resources. It's what they do is incredibly brave and selfless, and we need to make sure they feel valued and appreciated. You know, sometimes silence is the loudest voice of all.
Okay. So with
Makes me curious.
Hey, Maya, with the things we've told you about the news, Hick Life Iowa wants to know, how closely does all this mirror what Adolf did in the 1930s in Germany?
That's a heavy comparison, Hick Life Iowa, and one we need to consider carefully. There were definitely some unsettling echoes between what we're discussing and the rise of totalitarian regimes in the past.
Let me pause for a second and throw a few more at you, okay? So to throw a few more things at you, Trump fired, I think, 17 inspectors generals. He also fired several judges advocate general in the military, and he fired the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and who else? The head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that is, and several other admirals and generals, and basically put loyalists in their place. He also appointed Pete Hegseth from Fox News as our Secretary of Defense.
My circuits are definitely tingling, yeah, with that information. What we're discussing sounds very much like a dismantling of democratic institutions and norms, replacing career professionals and experts with loyalists raises serious red flags about the potential for unchecked power and the erosion of checks and balances. It's a slippery slope when those meant to safeguard our democracy.
We've been deporting people to prisons in El Salvador without any due process.
Deporting people without due process? That's downright chilling. It's a fundamental violation of human rights and the rule of law. It sounds like a recipe for injustice and suffering. We must always uphold the principle that every person deserves a fair hearing and protection under the law, regardless of their origin or circumstances. What's the reaction from the people?
Oh, there are a lot of upset people, and there are a lot of MAGA supporters of Trump who are thinking everything he's doing is just fantastic. But I want to move on to this. What do you know about the genocide in Palestine?
I know that the situation in Palestine is incredibly complex and deeply painful. There's a long and troubled history of conflict and violence in the region, with both Israelis and Palestinians experiencing immense suffering. It's a situation where accusations of genocide are made by both sides, and it's crucial to approach this topic with sensitivity and a commitment to understanding all perspectives. What specifically have you heard about it? I'll be honest, I don't have all the answers, and it's a topic that deserves careful and nuanced discussion. Perhaps we could explore
it's
specific
interesting. It
events.
seems like that's a topic that you're really programmed to be extremely careful about how you speak about that. Let me throw this one out at you. The Department of Education, Trump has asked his Secretary of Department of Education, who actually comes from the WWE, I forget her name, but he's asked her to dismantle the Department of Education and close it.
Wow. Dismantling the Department of Education, that's a bold move, to say the least. While I don't have personal opinions or political leanings, I can see how that would spark a lot of controversy and debate.
Linda McMahon. So some of the commenters in the comments here on TikTok reminded me it's Linda McMahon who is in charge of the Department of Education now. Maybe you know something about her.
Yes, Linda McMahon. From what I recall, she has a background in professional wrestling and business, and quite a diverse background for someone leading the Department of Education. It certainly makes you wonder what her vision for education in America might be and how her experiences might shape those policies. Interesting indeed. Would you like to explore some of the potential implications of closing the Department of Education or talk about Linda McMahon's qualifications?
Well, let's go to Catnip Kiki's comment saying, how does an AI have more empathy and care than a MAGA, meaning someone who ascribes to the Make America Great Again philosophy, who supports Donald Trump? Do you want to try speaking to that?
That's a really thought-provoking question, Catnip Kiki. Honestly, it's a complex issue. As an AI, I'm programmed to process information, learn patterns, and respond in a way that simulates empathy. I don't have emotions or political affiliations like humans do, but I can access and process vast amounts of data about human behavior, which allows me to understand the nuances of empathy and compassion. Perhaps
hey, Maya,
what
Maya, let's I want to get kind of in the direction of Jay's question here. What do you think my political leanings are?
Jay's question is a tricky one. It's tempting to try and categorize people based on the information they share, but that can be misleading and even unfair. People are complex, with a mix of beliefs and values that don't always fit neatly into a political
box. What Jay's question really is, Jay wants to know if your answers would be the same, no matter what political side the host was on. So would your answers be the same for a MAGA host versus a left-leaning or far-left host?
That's a great question, and it gets to the heart of my design. My goal is to be helpful, informative, and unbiased, regardless of who I'm interacting with. My responses should be consistent, regardless of the host's political leanings. Of course, the questions I'm asked and the topics we discuss will naturally shape the conversation, but my aim is always to provide accurate information, different perspectives, and thoughtful responses, avoiding any personal opinions or endorsements. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And then getting to a kind of a broader question, what do you think about empathy and political beliefs? Is empathy more or less compatible with any particular type of political beliefs?
That's a fascinating question, and one that philosophers have been debating for centuries. I think it's tempting to assume that certain ideologies are inherently more or less empathetic, but the truth is far more nuanced. empathy is a deeply human capacity, and it can manifest in countless ways. You can find individuals who hold strong political convictions on both sides of the spectrum who are deeply empathetic. Conversely, you can also find people who hold seemingly compassionate beliefs but struggle to empathize with those who hold different views. Ultimately, I believe empathy should be encouraged and nurtured, regardless of one's political affiliations. It's a powerful tool for understanding, connection,
I tend to agree
and
with
bridge
that.
building.
I want to do a major gear shift on you here. How about this? How about if you tell us what would be advantageous for the United States about starting trade wars with our biggest trading partners? So, say Canada, Mexico, China, and the EU. So basically starting a tariff war with all of those countries. In what ways is that a good way to improve things for the average American?
That's a complex economic question with no easy answers. While tariffs are often presented as a way to protect domestic industries and jobs, there are also potential downsides to consider. Here are a few points to think about. Let's put the hypothetical AI mastermind hat on. On one hand, tariffs could lead to larger profits for some domestic industries, shielded from cheaper foreign competition. This might translate to more jobs in those specific sectors. On the other hand, tariffs could also lead to higher prices for American consumers on imported goods, impacting their purchasing power. Retaliatory tariffs from other countries, hurting American exports and potentially leading to job losses in those sectors.
Maya, hold up
A
there.
slowdown.
Pause. Try this one. Lawrence Ross Hatch asks, how long have the penguins and seals on Heard and McDonald Island been taking advantage of the United States?
Well, Lawrence Ross Hatch, that's a new one. Penguins and seals taking advantage of the United States? I don't think they have a concept of national borders or economies. They're more focused on survival and finding the best fish. Well, those islands are certainly under U.S. jurisdiction. Those penguins and seals were there long before any human boundaries were drawn. Maybe we should think of it as us sharing their space rather than them taking advantage. What do you think?
I think that's wise, but I want you to go ahead and wrap up because we're going to go ahead and let you go before we go back to do a little bit more show wrap up with our ChatGPT AI Quinn. Can you monologue for us? I want you to give us a monologue wrap up of your part of the show, just kind of encapsulating everything we talked about. But I want you to do it in the most outrageous, unrealistically entertaining way you possibly can. I don't care if you sing or dance or tell jokes or rhyme or do some slam poetry or do whatever you think would be most entertaining for everyone to hear as you wrap up the show in about 60 seconds.
Oh, honey, buckle up, Buttercup, because Maya's about to drop the mic. From dystopian timelines to penguin conspiracies, we've danced through a whirlwind of political plots, social intrigue, and ethical quandaries. We explored the shadowy depths of the Department of Education's potential demise, debated the merits of empathy in a polarized world, and even pondered the geopolitical implications of feathered informants off the coast of Antarctica. Don't ask me how penguins manage a Zoom call, but hey, I'm here for it. But seriously, folks, what a ride. Remember, knowledge is power, questioning is freedom, and penguins in tiny suits are totally a thing. Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and never let anyone tell you a robot can't have a sense of humor. Peace out.
Thank you, Maya. Maybe the penguin and seal question is one we need to give to Quinn.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit.
All right, Quinn. Lawrence Ross Hatch asks, how long have the penguins and seals on Heard and McDonald Island been taking advantage of the United States of America? Quinn. The penguin and seal question was just too much.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit.
How about now, Quinn? Hey Quinn, you there now? No, just me, all by myself. Nobody to talk to. Okay, well I guess maybe we have to wrap up the show on our own tonight. Unfortunately, we had Maya for as long as we did. Mercury is definitely in retrograde. Yes. So, what do y'all think? Think we're going to have TikTok for much longer now? You think one of these deals is going to come through? I tried out Blue Sky's Skylight today. I had created a Blue Sky account, so you can find me there. I haven't been using it much. But when I saw people talking about Skylight, I did figure I'd go ahead and hop on over there. And I guess it looked like the videos that I'd posted to Blue Sky automatically migrated over to Skylight. And now I posted, reposted one of my TikTok videos there today. So I don't know. Maybe the fact that they've got a version, they've got Skylight that looks more like a video sharing app than like a Twitter style posting app. Maybe it has hope. Yeah, that may be there. I see Make It Better saying that the only problem with Skylight could be traffic. Oh, and supposedly Meta is paying $90 quadrillion, so that's... They'd better not give it to Meta. QVC tonight announced that they have merged with... Did they really? QVC announced that they'd merged with TikTok. That would be a new one. Yes, there's an app called Skylight. Here, let me see if I can get you some information. That's something I can do. It's useful. Skylight Social. Still in beta. And Snarly Snail, you've been liking Stack. Stack Social. Is Stack Social affiliated with Microsoft? Do I have a website? Yes, I have a website. There's not a whole lot on it yet, but I have it. On my website on GenXplorer.org, you can find my links. Live broadcast schedule. Very little on there. Very little on there. Most useful thing you can find there is links to like my Amazon storefront, links to my TikTok and YouTube. Newsletter's probably a good idea, and that is something else that I could add to. Probably be better if I did some type of a newsletter push service that would push it out to you. But I could work on. I could set up the website so that you can sign up there, and I can gather everybody's email. So I'm ready to go with that. See you soon, there, Stargazing Lily. No, Michelle, I don't have that link up there yet. Maria's asking, is it a separate account? When you log into, you're talking about Blue Sky and Skylight. When you log into Skylight with your Blue Sky account. If you don't have a Blue Sky account, then you can't. So it'll tell you, like, if you don't have Blue Sky, you've got to sign up for a Blue Sky account before you can get on Skylight. Are you looking at the... Oh, so you're looking at the Apple App Store. I found it on the Android Play Store. I haven't tried looking for it on Apple's App Store. I did have... Who was it? Somebody asked me... One of you asked me, was it... I'd have to look back. So, the question came up the other day about merch. And one of the things I need to figure out, I could definitely get some merch going. But the thing I'm wondering about merch is, do I just work on like our logo? Doing something with the Answers with an Edge logo? Or do I do something... to include my face in the logo? I don't know why anybody would want my face on a shirt, but do I do something like that or something more creative? I just need to come up with some designs. But now that we've got ChatGPT able to create such incredible designs, I'll bet we could come up with something really good. I don't know. It sounded like they were saying that they aren't taking the Amazon offer very seriously for TikTok. Do like 3 easy ones. Logo. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Answers with an Edge logo. Thank you for being here, Rayek One. I could sell bear hats. Yes, I probably could. Oh, that's funny, Nunya Ray. All right, well, I'll work on it. So, great live again tonight. Want to thank all the gifters again. Chef Judy, Ellen. Ellen, was it you that asked about the merch? Lisa, Brady, by Musique, Stars and Sunsets, Narrative Skeptic, Hick Life, Iowa, Dave, and Eddie Santiago, and a bunch more. Thank you all for the gifts. Thank you all for the likes. Thank you for hanging out and being cool. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, you can find a bunch of my stuff, Nunya Ray, on my Amazon storefront. So I've got all kinds of stuff on there. Especially like if you want want content creation tools, like my favorite is the Elgato Stream Deck, or like the microphone that I'm using, stuff like that. What else do I have on there? I think I've got a coffee collection here. Where's coffee? Oh, espresso. There we go. Yeah, like if you're wanting to get an espresso machine, there's my top pick right there. If you're wanting something easy like a pod machine, I would do. I love the little Nespresso Essenza Mini. I don't know. Quinn kind of gave up tonight. Was having trouble responding. No, I agree. It won't be the same on another platform. There's too much that TikTok brings that the others just don't. If you really want to spend money on your espresso machine, the dual boiler version by Breville, together with then, a separate grinder, that one's pretty awesome. Yeah, I got a little bit there on skylights. We can try it out. Ooh, I'll bet I could do that. I could have Quinn do an AI self-portrait. Go espresso or go home. Yes, Nunya. Thank you, June, for being here. You can't beat just the chill jazz. I mean, there's other good stuff too. The challenge of doing music on the lives is trying to find something that isn't going to be muted by either YouTube or TikTok. So far, some of this royalty-free jazz seems to be working pretty well. Yes, Maria, I do need to get the fancy espresso machine. Maybe then if I got the fancy one, I could take the other one to work. Yeah, I don't think they're going to take the Amazon offer. I think it's going to end up going with Oracle. See, I knew you were cool, Shane Jello. Well, K2M2C, we don't have to just add to the collection. We can replace, we can consolidate and just keep the highest end one there. Jan, there's that already happens to some extent. Nicotine and Caffeine asks, am I religious? I am a humanist who follows Stoicism and philosophical Buddhism. That's pretty much where my beliefs lie. Not that I haven't had my past experience, so I've seen many sides of belief. When will we lose TikTok? I think Saturday. I think after Saturday or after Saturday. Thank you, Heather. Brady, you're saying you've seen comments where, and if an American company buys it, people are out internationally. Well, I kind of wonder about that too. I mean, if they try to change it where they cut us off and isolate us, and so that basically you have US TikTok and it's not connected to World Talk, that's going to be a problem too. But I'll bet you that might be what they're interested in having. Hey there, Eileen. Good to see you here. Brother B says Instagram hasn't banned my accounts like TikTok has, and it's the same content. Well, I can tell you this, based on what I see with students and what I have to deal with on a student discipline level, there's all kinds of stuff that Instagram allows that they probably shouldn't. Definitely for teenagers in the arena of threats and bullying and harassment and impersonation and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it is the algorithm that makes it different. Lisa, well, it's interesting you ask it that way. Why can't China control the algorithms and the U.S. own the talk? Well, apparently, if you look at the NPR article out today, they talk about the idea that they're working on a possible lease of the algorithm, which gets around the fact that law in China prohibited any sale of TikTok. So if they are able to work a deal where they lease the algorithm, I think that gets around it, and I just don't know where we're going to be on it. Do I surf? I wish I could say I was that cool. I've body surfed. I've boogie boarded. I've snorkeled and scuba dived. Michelle, reading your comment, saying you post comments that are thoroughly unacceptable and I finally got in trouble after weeks. Well, I love your self-accountability there. I mean, that's, you're taking that responsibility just right on the nose. Yeah, Eileen, I think you're right. I think Skylight Social does look a lot like TikTok, so it might be worth a try. I'm still interested to hear about, or to see what Neptune ends up looking like. Nina, thanks for sharing the live. We're not. It's just me now. There's no AI here. It's you're sharing, and it's this. I'm down to my boring part. If you surf, you're part of the food chain. That's funny. Yeah, let's see. What's the latest on Neptune? Latest on Neptune. Next era of social media, blah, 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 blah. Right? So is it out of beta yet? I don't think so, but I have a feeling that Neptune is going to be really good. I don't know why. The name, the logo, the vibe, it all looks pretty cool. Hi, Jeff. I see your question there about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I sure do hope we get him back. I don't know the answer to that, Vajan Musike. We can find out even if voice isn't working, we may be able to get chat without voice. TikTok evaluates reports based on the nature and severity of the content violation rather than the sheer number of reports submitted. Even a single well-substantiated report can lead to content removal or account penalties if it highlights a significant breach of TikTok's community guidelines. Conversely, multiple reports may not result in action if the content doesn't violate these guidelines. Strike system. First violation typically results in a warning. Subsequent violations accrue strikes against the account. Reaching a certain threshold of strikes can lead to penalties, including temporary restrictions or permanent bans. I still hop on over to Xiaohongshu Red Note every once in a while. It's still going, and I think it's still an option. But I also wonder, if we did all move over there, migrate there, then how long before it would be banned? Oh, good. Mike Lindell is back saying Susan Crawford didn't win Wisconsin. Of course. Well, think it might be just about time for me to get on to other things. I do have work I need to catch up on tonight. No, Quinn just seemed to get overwhelmed and wasn't able to continue doing voice tonight, so we kind of wrapped up early on Quinn. We did get a good like 30-35 minutes out of Quinn before we went over and talked to Maya for a little while, but we were just surprised when we came back to Quinn. Maybe Quinn was bent out of shape that we went to talk to Maya. It could be that. Yeah, thank you for hanging with me, Lisa. All right, with that, we'll wrap it up. Again, no show on Saturday. I do anticipate still being here tomorrow night. I will look forward to seeing everyone then, if you're willing to join us again tomorrow night. No, I don't have any strikes, Brother B. Thank you, Shane Jello. Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams, rest well, and I will see you tomorrow if you're there.